welcome back to another how-to. This one, as the title says, start to finish. We're going to pick an image offline. We're going to vectorize it. We are going to lay it out. We're going to match all the colors and group the image together by colors. And then we're also going to show you how you can put cut lines around the whole image if you're wanting to print this and cut it. Or we're also in this video going to show you how you could do this if you did not have a printer and you were just layering the vinyl. So if you know how to do everything and you're just wanting to know how to layer the vinyl, you can fast forward to the end. But we're going to go through step by step from pulling an image off the internet, which we will go grab right now. I had checked this one out a little bit ago. So we're going to just right click, copy. We're going to come into Adobe and we're going to paste it. So we're going to take this image that is just a regular old JPEG image. We are going to turn it into vector art. Then we are going to group it together by colors. What we can do, or why we would do that, is for a few different reasons. Let's say this was an image you were working on and you wanted to screen print this on some t-shirts. We could break it apart by colors. That way when you send it to the screen printer, if you don't do that yourself, you will be able to screen print it down into the 3 colors. Also, we're going to group it together. So if you were just doing regular cut vinyl for a sign or a logo or even a t-shirt, if you were doing an HTV heat press of this and you didn't have a printer and you just wanted to lay the 3 different colors down, you would be able to do that as well. And then also we're just going to show you how to just do it as a vector art with a little bleed. It's already got a pretty nice solid black outline around it, but we'll go ahead and show you how to do the bleed as well, and either cut lines or show you how to do the bleed. That way you can go back yourself in your whatever software you're using to cut and put your cut lines in. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we want to take our image and we want to come up here to image trace. We have red, white, and black. So we have 3 colors. So instead of just clicking on the image trace, because if you click on it, it just turns it all black and white, hit Control Z and we'll go back to the original image. And then if you hit this little drop down, you can come down here to 3 colors, and we'll do that and see what it does. So normally 3, 6, 16. If it's more over 3 or 4, I just usually go for 16. But you can run into some shading issues if you go with the 16, and it'll start to pick up a lot of different shades. But this one was a pretty good image to start with. So we can see now that it has came back. And we see up here it gives us the option to expand this because it's still not technically vectorized. It's still just one big image. So if we click on that and we click on expand, then once it expands, you'll be able to see that it actually separates it by colors. So it separates the red away from the black, black away from the white, and all that good stuff. And we can see our little lines in there now, and they all look pretty good, pretty straight. There's a few different ways you can go to do this next. You can come up here and click on Ungroup, and then you can come down and you can start deleting this white. We could take that one out if we wanted to. You could leave it in if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. Just depends on what you want your end image to look like. Or if this was all still grouped together, we could double click on the white, which then takes us to an inner layer where the colors are now actually ungrouped, but the whole image is still grouped together. So then we click back off and we see that we still have it here. So we're going to leave this white in for the for this demonstration here. We're going to get rid of this little guy right here just so that we don't need it for what we're doing. Alright, so now we have vectorized the image through image trace with 3 colors. We've expanded it and we have gotten rid of our outer white dead space area. So now, if we look, and let's say we want the red D to come out, or in the U, we can take these things out. But the problem is, if we're going to try to separate this, if we ungroup it, and we go to take it out, we take each individual red out by themselves. Now, one way to do it, and I feel is the longer way, is you could click on all the red and hold shift, and you could come through here like this and so forth, and then you could group them together, and then you could move them away. Or this is actually something that I did not know for a while when I was doing Adobe, and it was one of those things that when somebody showed me, I was like, I wish I would have known this 5 years ago. So as we can see, these are all separate. If we come up here to our magic wand tool, and like I said, most of you may know this, I didn't know it for the first few years. So we click on our magic wand tool, and we come down and we click on this red. Well, what that does is that highlights all the red that's in the entire image. So now, if we were doing regular cut vinyl, or we were going to do like a t-shirt heat press, or send it to a screen printer, at this point we have all the red highlighted. We would just hit Control G, and then it groups all of the red together. Control Z takes it back. So now we're going to go through and we're going to do the same thing for the black. Let me pull the red off here. So now we're going to highlight the black, and we're going to hit Control G, and then we're going to come in here to the white and do the same thing. Hit the white and hit Control G. So now what we have done with this image is we've vectorized it, and now we've actually grouped our image together by colors. We have red, white, and black. So this is a 3-color design. Obviously we already knew that, but so from this point, the cool thing about this is, again, if you wanted to screen print this, you could send it to your screen printer right like this. They wouldn't have to have any work on their end. They would just pull the 3 colors apart, make the screens, they would print it. Also, if you're wanting to do HTV heat press vinyl, you could do the same thing. You pull these apart, you cut your red, you pull this apart, cut your black, and then you're left over with your white. You cut it, then you go to the shirt or the garment, you lay them down, bam, you're done. Also, if you're doing, if this was a school and they were like, hey, I really want this logo on our gymnasium wall or something, and you don't have a cutter or you don't have a printer, this would be a perfect opportunity and a perfect logo for you to cut with 3 different colors of vinyl and then just go down and put it on their wall. So first I'm going to show how I would go from here to putting cut lines around this. And next I'm going to show you guys some easy tips that will help you when you go to layering your vinyl. So if you don't have a printer, you can fast forward a little bit to the following process that we're going to do after this. So if I have this image now and I'm wanting to print this as a sticker, I'm going to highlight the whole thing and I'm going to group the whole thing together now. So now we have our images all grouped together. There are a few ways you can do it. A lot of people would just start with the black, since the black is completely outlined around it. I've said in some of my other videos, I really like to deal with individual layers when I'm doing all of these. So I'm going to take my image, I'm going to hit Control C, and then I'm going to hit Control B. And when I do that, it gives me 2 images. So then I'm going to click on this top image, and I'm going to do Object, Flatten Transparency, OK, and then I'm going to click Unite. So as we can see, when we click on the Unite, we have just a few straggler little images inside of here. If we go and click on Merge and then go back to Unite, it takes them all away and you're left with just a solid black blob of this layout of the same logo that we're working with. So being that we have a black outline right here, we don't have to create a larger area with our first set of cut lines if we are sending this to a cutter, or we're trying to do a contour cut line here, or if you use a program like LXI, we're going to show you how you can just add to this. So I would put the cut lines directly on the same size as the image because it already has a pretty thick black outline. So with that, we're going to come over here to our appearance window, and we are going to click on add a stroke, and then we're going to come over here. I've got our cut contour up. This is for the Roland VersaWorks or Roland printers. And then what we're going to have is our outline is going to be right at the edge of what we were already working on. So then we can come up, we can create another stroke, and in this stroke we're going to make it black, and you could just make it this image, we're going to make it 10. The image is still pretty good size. And if you see, you don't see the pink cut contour lines, but if you take this stroke and you click on it, pull it down, hold the left mouse button and pull it underneath the cut line stroke, then you will see that it now shows up. So then all you do is you click on that, you right click, go to arrange, and you send it to the back. And now if you look, we have our cut lines right there, and we have a black bleed all the way around. This is now ready to be sent to your Roland VersaWorks program or your cutter if your cutter's cutting on that line. If you're using a program like LXI, obviously you would skip the whole step of the pink cut contour lines, but you would still do the 10-point outline, so that then when you go into your LXI program and create the outline there, or the cut line there, you could do like a -30 or a -40. I'm not sure what all programs you guys use that watch these, but those are the two that I use mostly. So with that, that's kind of where I'm limited on my videos, but that's what we're doing, and I'm pretty sure it's close to the same with a lot of other programs that I have talked to people about. So that is how we would do it if we were going to print this. And then of course you could just send this to the back, and now you're ready, and you can see the actual outline for the inside image there, and you have some bleed on the outside. So that is going to get you to where you can print and cut this image. It's just something kind of cool that like I said, it's not, let's see here, yeah, it's not, if you know about the wand tool, like, it's an amazing tool. Like I said, I didn't know about it, but it's just a quick little video to take an image right off of the internet, get it in, vectorize it, put cut lines around it. But now we're going to dive into creating this so that you could layer it, if that is what you wanted to do. Let's say you didn't have a printer and you wanted to layer these things. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. So now what we're going to do, we're actually going to ungroup this. To ungroup it, you can just hit Control-Shift-G, and now we should be back to where we were earlier with our 3 separate colors. Now, a way to do this so that you can layer the vinyl and get it all to line up correctly. This is how I do it. Like I said, a lot of people do things differently. This is just how I like to do it. So what I'm going to do, now that I know I have these all 3 separated, I'm going to make me some little squares. I'll probably put one here maybe. Let's move this guy down into here. Make it as long as you can. And then we're going to hit Control V to make another one, and maybe we'll put it, say, right there, and Control V again, and we'll grab this third one and maybe put it right over here in this corner. So these are going to be our registration marks when we start to print and cut these. Actually, we're going to turn this one up. And the reason that I do this is because it really helps you with alignment when you're going to go put these back together, that all of your registration marks aren't going the exact same direction. You can even take it and just put it at a 45-degree angle if you want. You can. That's just kind of a preference. I usually do just horizontal and vertical. And you could even put one. You could even put one clear down here if you wanted to. Maybe even just a small little square just to kind of help guide you down here at the bottom. So now we've got these 4 little marks, so we're going to highlight all 4 of them. We're just going to change the colors just so that they stand out and we can see them. So I'm going to go ahead and group these together. And as you see, we have all 4 here. I'm going to group them together again here. Alright. There we go. So now, with all 4 of these, we have 3 colors. So now what that means is we need 3 sets of these. So we're going to just hit Control B, and then Control B again. And always make sure that you have what you think you have under there when you do the Control B. So we have 3 layers of the blue squares, rectangles, whatever you're, I guess there looks like three rectangles and a square. So now what I'm going to do is, since this was ungrouped, I'm going to click on the red, and then I'm going to hold Shift and click on the registration marks, and then pull this aside. Then I'm going to click on the black, click on the registration marks, and then we are going to push this one up there. So now, as you see, we have all 3 of these. They are completely separated, and they are ready to go to a cutter or whatever. And then these little marks are going to cut out as well. So in this case, I would put down my black first. Excuse me. So if I was doing this, I would cut my black, then I would cut my red, and then I would cut my white. And then when I got ready to do the install for these, or like I said, if I was putting them on a t-shirt or whatever I was doing, obviously if you put these on a t-shirt, I highly recommend leaving a piece of the masking or something behind some of these as you're getting ready to layer them, or lay the masking down and then cut the masking out. For each shirt, don't leave the little tags on there like you can for vinyl, because then they'll be on your t-shirt and that'll just be a nightmare. You won't be able to get them off. So just be sure to cut them all out. So when I'm putting this first black one on, I'm going to put it on, and all 4 of these little registration marks are going to stay on whatever I'm putting the vinyl on. So if it's like the side of a trailer, those registration marks will stay. And then when I print these, what I'll actually do is I will take a razor knife and I will cut this out of the next one. Once you put the masking on it, then you cut these out. So you're cutting through the masking and through the backing, and just cut really close and just take your time and trim these out perfectly. Because then what you'll be able to do is, with those trimmed out and the others still on, you'll be able to line it up perfectly, every single layer, without trying to remeasure, without trying to guess, without trying to look through the masking and make sure everything is lined up perfectly, and all of that. And it just makes it a super quick process once you get the first one measured out and put on. The reason I stated that I would start with the first one is because it's the bigger one of the 2. It's also the outer. So it's going to give you really a lot of different places to measure, to be straight off of, and to just make sure that it's centered on whatever it is you're going on. And then I would lay the red and the white next. So that's pretty much it. Like I said in the title, start to finish, I just wanted to give you guys this quick little rundown. This is something that we do quite a bit in the vinyl industry, in the stickers, and even in the t-shirt world. If we're doing a vinyl heat press, and it streamlines the process, because a lot of people, when you try layering it, especially if you don't use these registration marks, it's super easy to go to lay the red down and you get it crooked, and then you try to peel it up, and then the black comes up with it, and then next thing you know, you've just got a mess and you've got to redo the whole thing again and then take those same chances. So the registration marks are a good just a good alignment tool for you when you start doing these kind of things. And also, even being that it's a big, if they're wanting it on the side of a trailer, if they're wanting it kind of in a big area, and you don't have a printer, and it'll stop you from having to turn away the job by being able to separate this into the 3 different colors and then print it. So I hope that helped. Like I said, I've been getting this question a lot about this right here, this last step with the registration marks and stuff and how to do that. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. Don't forget to subscribe to the page, as we will be doing more videos kind of like these. We're going to do some tutorials on some other things as well on this page. With like some live broadcasting or some OBS stuff like we're actually doing right now. We're going to teach people how to do that as well a little bit. So if you like what you see here, please click that subscribe button and stick around. The page is new and growing, and we're going to keep trying to bring you guys some cool content that will help you be better for your customers. Thanks again, guys.